Another year, another opportunity for all of us to defend and restore the Second Amendment. We here at GOA aren't going to take it easy after the holidays. We're gearing up for a major fight, and we need all hands on deck. So stick around, and I'll explain why now is the time to push Congress to pass the Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act. Hi, I'm Ben Sanderson, and you're watching the first Minuteman Moment of 2025. Today is the first day of the 119th Congress. All the anti-gunners who got voted out just got fired, like Senator Tester and Alaska Representative Mary Peltola. And of course, new GOA-endorsed candidates you voted into office, like Senator Tim Sheehy and Nick Begich, are being sworn in. Soon, the House will vote on a speaker and then legislation. So, it's time for every gun owner to start pushing Congress to enact the pro-gun law that President Trump campaigned on: National Concealed Carry Reciprocity. We're going to need every Second Amendment activist watching to get involved if we want to hold Washington accountable to their campaign promises. So we hope you'll join us in this fight. Now, we've talked about concealed carry reciprocity before on this show, but here's a quick summary of what it is. The Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act is the idea that your concealed carry license acts in a similar manner to a driver's license, where it's accepted in all 50 states. Or, if you're from a constitutional carry state, then your driver's license allows you to constitutionally carry nationwide. Now, say you're from Texas and have a Texas driver's license, but you're traveling in California. If you're pulled over, California doesn't question your ability to drive a car. They accept that Texas's standards qualifies you, and therefore they treat the license as the same. This is known as reciprocity. Gun Owners of America has been involved with concealed carry reciprocity since constitutional carry was known as Vermont carry, because they were the only state where you could carry without a permit. We've long had this fight as a major priority to restore the Second Amendment rights of all Americans. Now, in this upcoming session of Congress, we have perhaps the greatest chance at passing this bill and getting President Trump to sign it in history. It's not a done deal, it will take a lot of work, but here's why you should help us and get involved. First, all states are now shall issue. Thanks to the Bruin Supreme Court decision, all states now grant concealed carry licenses to anyone who applies and can lawfully own a firearm. That means states like California and New York that previously made it so that you could be arbitrarily denied your right to self-defense if they disagreed with your reasoning can no longer keep you from exercising your Second Amendment rights. One common problem that politicians had with reciprocity is that their states banned concealed carry. But now, there isn't a state in the union that doesn't allow its own citizens to carry firearms for self-defense. And, adding on to that, thanks to GOA lawsuits against California and New York, 49 states must issue you a non-resident permit to carry a firearm in their jurisdiction. Currently, Hawaii is the only state to bar non-residents from lawfully carrying firearms for self-defense. This was another big problem that politicians had with reciprocity. Many tyrannical states didn't even let their own citizens carry firearms for self-defense, let alone non-residents. But now, that really isn't even an issue except for in one state. And let me tell you, the spirit of aloha cannot nullify the Second Amendment, and justice is coming for Hawaii one day soon. Also, a majority of the United States have enacted constitutional carry or permitless carry laws. 29 states have passed laws that do not require a permit to conceal carry a firearm. That's more than half the country. Now, that's a huge change from just a few years ago, when only Vermont allowed carry without a license. And so making sure constitutional carry was protected in our bill was a huge priority for us. But now, you can drive across the United States for days and days, from state to state, and you will never need a license to carry a firearm. It's a beautiful thing, and it makes it even easier for politicians to see why we need reciprocity right now. The current political landscape makes nationwide reciprocity for concealed carry licenses a no-brainer, and it's an easy win for the Trump administration and pro-gun congressmen as well. It's 2025, people. It's long past time that the right to carry was treated the same as driver's licenses, accepted in all 50 states, regardless of differences in state regulations or requirements. Plus, more Americans than ever are choosing to take an active role in their self-defense. Following COVID, almost 20% of US households bought a firearm, with nearly 15 million Americans buying one for the first time ever. Those who choose to do so should not be weighed down by the arbitrary and often politically motivated decisions of anti-gun officials that make it harder for regular people to defend themselves. The current situation is a confusing web of exemptions and reciprocity agreements between states that leads to doubt in the minds of those simply wanting to defend themselves, whether that's going on vacation across the country or crossing a state boundary on the way to work. Americans' constitutional rights to freedom of speech or right to a jury trial don't end at state borders. Neither should their right to keep and bear arms. Now that you know why it's a great time for us to pass reciprocity, here are some factors that we have working for us to pass reciprocity now. Concealed carry reciprocity can't go anywhere without first making it through the House and the Senate. Last Congress, we had 171 co-sponsors on the House bill and 44 on the Senate bill. Now that's huge. For those of you who don't work on a Hill, what that means is that these are mainstream bills that a majority of the Republican Party agrees with. Now that both chambers are under Republican leadership, we need to get these bills on the floor and voted on. Anti-gun Senator Chuck Schumer won't be able to stop this legislation from coming to the Senate floor, and House Speaker Johnson is likely to bring this bill to the floor of the House as well. Also, we have a pro-concealed carry reciprocity president in the White House. Another great reason to push concealed carry reciprocity this year is that President Trump explicitly called for its passage so he could sign it.
I will protect the right of self-defense everywhere it is under siege, and I will sign concealed carry reciprocity. Your Second Amendment does not end at the state line. That is how I will bring back public safety to America. I want to thank you. We're going to make America great again, and we're going to make America safe again.
With the president and Congress being aligned, this is a great opportunity ahead of us. But there's also one final factor that could really seal the deal on this win. That's not just GOA pushing for reciprocity, but the President of the United States. Maybe your congressman isn't the most pro-gun, but he or she does listen to the president when he calls for a policy. Well, he just called on everyone in Washington to send reciprocity to his desk. That's huge. And there's one final factor that we have working for us. We have all of you members out there. Over the past 4 years, the Second Amendment community has grown tremendously and weathered all the insane infringements that President Biden and his anti-gun administration has thrown at us. In fact, we even cut ATF's budget and protected veterans' gun rights during an anti-gun administration. Now that's all thanks to our members fighting side by side with us. We even defeated Biden 2.0, aka Kamala Harris, who wanted to not only continue everything the Biden administration did, but take it even further by packing the Supreme Court and ending the filibuster. Our no-compromise community has grown rapidly, and that attitude of never giving up an inch when fighting for our rights in DC is impacting the politicians too. That's why we need you to save this number on your phone and call your congressmen and senators about concealed carry reciprocity. Now I promise to keep you as up to date as I can on the progress of this bill, but calling your representatives and asking them about the status of this bill is also a great way to turn up the heat and let them know it's also one of your priorities.
Whoa, that's too much.
That's better. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some meetings with some members of Congress and their staff on this very important issue. The only way we're going to convince Washington to move our priorities to the top and pass our bills is with an overwhelming show of grassroots activism. Now, we couldn't do this without you, so thank you for saving this number as a contact in your phone. We're probably going to need you to call again soon. But when we're done, you can tell your friends, your family, and your children that you helped pass concealed carry reciprocity.